The two controversial suits before the Supreme Court has been heard. Today marks the second day that the Supreme Court is dealing with these two subject matter. Dr. Amanda Odoi's request was the first that the panel of 5 delved into. In fact, what their lawyer, Ernest Akun, was seeking was straightforward: an interlocutory injunction against the Speaker of Parliament and clerk from transmitting the bill to the presidency for his assent. On the other hand, the Attorney General also made the point that the Supreme Court should hold in abeyance the bill for the substantive matter to be dealt with. But of course, counsel for the Speaker of Parliament and the clerk, Title Sorry, opposed to that particular request and made arguments in relation to that, and said that urged the court to refuse that particular request for interlocutory injunction. And on the second leg of the case, which happens to be the one filed by broadcast journalist Richard Dela Sky, what the parties have also done was that even though the matters look similar in nature, there were certain points that did not form part of the earlier argument or submissions made by lawyers in relation to Dr. Amanda Odoi's case. So what Pakwesi Abedu, counsel for Richard Kai, indicated to the court was that Parliament failed to satisfy certain requirements before going ahead to pass that particular bill, and so his point is that the Supreme Court should injunct the bill from being transmitted to the President. Lawyer for the Attorney General, Ahmad Say, also made submission to the effect that the Supreme Court should look at the questions that arose, if there is any question of law, to make a determination to save. Of course, counsel for the Speaker, yet again, Mr. Title Sorry, made submission to the effect that the Supreme Court should refuse that particular request, asking the Apex Court to stop Parliament from transmitting the bill. His argument is that it has not been dealt with, it has been passed, but that is not the end of the whole process. It has to go to the presidency. The presidency will have to look at it. If there is any questions of that has to be considered, it will have to come back to Parliament for Parliament to rectify whatever needs to be rectified. So it is not conclusive, and the court should not injunct the processes. The Supreme Court, a panel of 5 presided over by the Chief Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu, has adjourned both cases to July 17, where the panel will be making a ruling on both counts. The court has indicated that 2 separate rulings will be delivered in relation to each of the applications before the Supreme Court. But what has the counsel for Richard Sky, Pakwesi Abedu, been saying in relation to today's court sitting?
This matter has been pending for over a year. And if indeed that controversial report, or that report which has remained the bane of controversy in court, was with them, why do you wait after arguments? Why do you wait after all has been said and done before you come out to say that such a bill existed? What were the researchers of Parliament doing, and what were his own researchers doing? So to the Chief Justice, this will not be factored in the ruling of the court, but it can be factored into the final determination of the rate. And I think she was perfectly
in
right.
any case, by procedure, you need to come
exactly,
to court for
properly.
leave.
You don't go by this.
To court for leave.
You have to seek leave
to file a
before
supplementary
you
affidavit.
file a supplementary affidavit and attach an exhibit. You don't just get up after the hearing of argument to say that I have something to tell the court, because right afterwards somebody called me to show it to me.
For the second time, the Supreme Court, or the Chief Justice, allowed cameras into the chamber of the Supreme Court to cover proceedings live, which took a very long time before proceedings was finally brought to an end. We will now have to wait until July 17 to know the outcome, whether or not the Supreme Court will stop Parliament from transmitting the bill to the presidency. Already, the president has indicated that he will not sign or receive the bill until the matters before the Supreme Court are dealt with. On 17th of July, the Supreme Court will have the onus to determine whether or not to injunct Parliament or to allow the bill to go to the presidency. From the Supreme Court here in Accra, Murtala, Inusah, GHOne.